Hey guys, welcome back to another recap of AFTERBUZZ Underground. We got a lot to talk about, so tune in.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
We usually sing this song. We're like,
Really?
we don't know the words, but we just go with it.
I was still jamming from like the AFTERBUZZ beat, and it was like,
Hey guys, welcome back to Underground, the recap for Underground. This is season 2, episode 2, Things Unsaid. Now, there was a lot of things unsaid in this episode, so we're going to get right into it.
Let's do it.
I'm your host, Lina Green. You can find me at Just Lina Green. And these are these lovely ladies over here.
Hey guys, Elayna here. You can follow me on all social platforms at hey_slay.
What's up, y'all? Franceli Chapman here, and you can catch me on all things at Selly Hangout.
and hey guys, I'm Lynneisha, and you can catch me on Instagram and Twitter at Lynneisha_33.
Yes. Okay, let's get into it, guys. So we started off with Elizabeth she was still sitting where we left off in the last episode.
Yeah.
That was kind of like a really soul crunching,
I'm mad that they started with that opening scene.
I'm glad they did, because that was the last thing that really grabbed us at the
Yeah,
end of that
the
episode.
end.
So
Well,
I'm
why
glad they kind of addressed it.
That's why I'm mad about it, because they kind of just like hit us with that heart attack last episode, and then out of nowhere you want me to relive the fact that you killed John off the show.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm feeling some type of way,
I just
too.
want to forget about it. Like,
No, they don't want you to forget
you
about it.
can't forget about John.
Like,
He was a pivotal part of the whole first season. I mean,
in the words of
movement.
Elizabeth, everyone grieves differently.
Yes, everyone does grieve differently, for sure.
Everyone
true.
does, but what do y'all think about that? Like, Elizabeth's still sitting there, she's screaming, she's crying, she's thinking about what happened to her, the love of her life, and no one really is there to comfort her. She's alone.
She's
And you'll
alone.
see that through the episode, and she even talks about that.
Yeah, and she was just sitting there in shock. And then, like, right after they walked out of the courthouse after getting married, like, that is just devastating. Like, you just finally, did that, put the stamp on your relationship, and then now. Like,
Well,
it's
weren't they
done.
already married? I thought
That
they were.
was-
They were going to the courthouse to sign because he was trying to get a seat as a Senate.
Oh, okay, that's what that part
And
was.
so
Okay.
he was in episode 1. What he was doing was like, okay, I see that I can't really affect change unless I'm on the inside.
Right. Okay.
So he's like, what do you think about me?
So I should have
Yeah.
recapped first
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I was like, did they just get? And they were in the courthouse. I thought that's what. That
Yeah,
was.
but
still, that's her love.
Yeah.
So still, like after you just walk out of that, they still had to accomplish something, and they were happy, and then just.
That was
Shock.
still a big surprise, and I think
Yeah.
everybody, that was kind of like the come back and watch the second episode
Yeah.
for them to open up what that meant a lot.
Right.
And we saw Elizabeth kind of was the forefront in this second episode. It was a lot about how she was feeling and some of the stuff that's going on and like the next steps in her life. So
It was definitely needed. I feel like so often, especially when we think about this era, when we read about this era, when we go through the history of this era, it's only about like the slaves or the runaways, and we kind of forget about the people who are sacrificing their life to help them. So for me to be able to be in Elizabeth's seat this episode, it was really like it was pulling at my heartstrings, because you really see how lonely it is. They lose all of their friends, especially their friends who don't want to help them. They lose all of their family, especially their family like Tom, who was a slave owner, and etc. Like,
and their life is on the line.
and their
Yeah,
lives
the
are on the
risk,
line.
yeah.
And it was just the two of them. So you take one of them away, and now I'm by myself. And then on the top of that, she wasn't able to have kids, so now she has no legacy.
Yeah.
Right.
And we see
I
the
know when she brought
relationship
that
that
up.
she still has with her like servants and the people who were left to John. She gives them John's clothes, which is really people don't share. We weren't even allowed to
yeah.
get in the same water,
Right.
Let's
Right.
alone share clothes. So that's a very pivotal moment. Her giving John's clothes to him for the funeral that day.
Yeah.
So I mean,
As angry as she was, I was very excited to see that she didn't take any of her anger out on those people around her.
Yeah.
Like, she was angry and she wanted to retaliate, and we felt that, but she didn't do it on those around her. She kind of wanted to do it,
Yeah.
to the people they had to smile in their faces, to the ones they had to play friends with.
Yeah.
So that was refreshing.
Yeah, because she could have, like, it's like it's your fault. You know what I mean? Because if we didn't have to help you, or if we weren't helping you, this might not have happened. So it is a good thing that she didn't go that route.
Right.
I love the character arc of Elizabeth, because in the first season she was very meek, and then we saw her coming out her shell, you know, really being behind this the underground, and like really trying to be a forefront in it. And so I think I really love seeing her get some kahunas, you know.
We kind of talked about that last episode, and we predicted that this episode she was gonna have a 360. It was gonna be like she was gonna be walking down the street singing something, swinging a bat like Beyonce, like ready to just tear everything up. That's what it was.
What did y'all think she was gonna do when she got the gun? Like,
I already knew what time it was.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, she finna go shoot somebody. I'm just glad that they talked her off the ledge, because what was that gonna do for the cause? She was just gonna end up in jail.
Or get shot herself.
Or get shot herself, or hung for treason.
Yeah, they definitely probably would have killed her.
Yeah, so then I'm just like, she is so pivotal to the cause.
Yeah.
And that would have just been all the way bad. So I'm glad that she has Georgia, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm glad that she has her to sit there and like be there for her. And that's the thing, when you lose a spouse or a parent, there's so many people that come up to you and it's like, oh man, I'm so sorry for your loss. But they don't really understand unless they've been through it. And she's been through it. She lost her husband, not in the same kind of way, but still she knows what it's like to lose a husband. So they got that little connection going.
yeah, speaking of Georgia's character is such a motherly figure in
Yes.
this. She kind of guides
sweet.
like all the characters in their turmoil, because we see Rosalie's going through a lot. She's crying a lot, which we'll know why later.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody saw, like, she was really emotional throughout the whole episode.
Now that you
Right.
mention it, I
And
realized
But I'm thinking she was emotional because of the combination of John and Noah. Everyone grieves differently, and it's just like she couldn't be there for the funeral. And John is family. That's you know, her uncle. So that's what I was thinking.
I was thinking that too. I thought it was because of John.
Yeah.
I literally thought, and the fact that
And
Noah's,
Noah,
Yeah.
But
We were talking about Georgia, and so when they were sitting in front of the courthouse, Georgia literally said, I'm not going anywhere. And then there was this song that immediately came, and all I remember is the first word because it hit my soul so deeply. And I remember, like, I just feel like this season is going to be the best musical season of any show ever, because it's just coming back to back to back, and it's on point, and it's emphasizing the scenes. Like, sometimes we don't even pay attention to the music, but it's emphasizing anything that I'm feeling.
Yeah, the music is definitely the bomb.com. I actually made an underground playlist on my phone. I was like, wait a minute, and I get all excited because Misha Green, who's the creator of the show, her tweets, I live for her tweets. She has the best tweets ever, but she usually tweets the song list. So then I get ready and I just add it to my
every
playlist.
time she tweets it every time.
After every episode, but she's probably not going to tweet it until after the West Coast feed. So I'm going to have to wait to add it to my playlist.
Oh, that's cool.
But I already have episode 1. It's locked and loaded. It's ready.
there.
Yeah, check that out. So we also are introduced to Harriet in the first episode in this episode, which we didn't get a lot of her in this episode, but I did find it interesting when they were sitting down, all the women were sitting down in the sewing group.
She looked like she was actually sewing this time, though. Like, last week, they weren't sewing at all. It looked like she was stitching up something. I was like, oh, okay, they are the sewing circle for a reason.
I found that interesting when she blacked out, though. And that was something actually in history, like about her spells and stuff. So I love how they're actually really using the history of what's really going on in this show.
Well, see, I don't remember exactly what I learned.
In school?
Yeah.
No, for real. Yeah, seriously, because you don't keep learning it unless you keep up.
They
with it
introduce it
yourself,
to you, and if you're not actively studying and being in it, you kind of lose it.
Yeah.
So I may have learned about the spells, but I don't. I feel like if I did, it would have stuck with me, and it didn't.
You know what's funny? When that happened, I was like, wow. It just came to me. I was like, oh, I remember learning
and
that.
that's what I feel like it should have happened with me, but it didn't. Like, I didn't know
but
she
I
had
think
spells.
they teach that probably come college. I don't think like in elementary school when
They
they go
teach it
through
like high school.
when they go through Black history.
nothing in high
No,
school.
they didn't teach that in my high school.
Yeah, mine either.
Shout outs to that Bronx public education.
Texas education.
You got that good South education.
I didn't get
I got that New
it in
York City
Miami
public.
either.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
So when they introduced it, I was like, oh, this was great for me because now I'm going to do more research to figure out what exactly are the spells in the because
because once she came to, it was like okay, plans have changed. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
And they said like, well, that's where her visions come from. As soon as she came
I
away.
didn't know she
it was
had
like,
visions.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. We gonna go to the library. Okay?
Perception.
We're gonna go read
curious.
some more books. We need to read more.
Did the live stream? So those of you who are watching via live stream, did you know that she had visions and spells? Like, we just need to
Well,
take
they
a poll.
talked about visions that she had, like in history, like how she
Who
was
was
able
they?
to, like in history.
She said, "Who is they?"
They didn't talk. They didn't
about
talk
very
to
good
me.
either.
They didn't
well-
talk to me.
Well, I mean, it's something like how she was able to lead. Great people always have some kind of, I don't like to call it power or something, but they have something that's given from God to help
Intuitive.
lead. For a woman to lead all these people out of slavery like that she had to get a gift, and it was a gift that she got.
Wow.
Yeah. Not like...
I love the fact that they call her Black Moses. That's why. You know, like 'cause-
That's fear, too.
Yeah,
They was
'cause
scared
it's
of
like,
her.
and you know, Moses in the Bible, he parted the Red Sea. He
Yeah,
led
he
all
led
his
his
people to
people, yeah.
freedom. So it makes sense. She is the Black Moses.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they call it Black Rose, which they didn't really
Rosalie.
go into. Oh, they're talking
Rosalie
about
is Black
Rosalie?
Rose.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
That's her
but
nickname.
When Miss Cannon, she was going after.
She was going after Harriet,
Harriet, she called her the.
I thought
She
No,
called
no,
Harriet
no.
Moses,
Right.
and then when she
She
got
was like,
in-
"Who was it at the door?" Because it wasn't.
it wasn't Moses.
It wasn't Moses.
But were they saying that Rosalie was one of the one
Yeah.
of the okay
Yeah.
the escape?
The word on the street, they don't go by their real names.
Yeah.
Okay.
So word on the street is her name is Black Rose.
Girl, what street? Word on what street? You know, she talking about word on the street.
Word on the street.
Anyway, speaking of the lady Miss Cannon with the red hair, I found her character, especially in the first season, I was like, okay, this is going to be one of our antagonists who's going to be very pivotal in this second. But something about her doesn't really scream strong to me. Like, I feel like even like when
No,
he
I
was
feel the
talking to
same
her,
way.
but about her book, and she was like, well, oh, you're saying that Harriet Tubman's stronger than me. Well, I got to get her or whatever. There was something catty. Like, I wanted her to be more of a, like, a really...
Or even when she was getting into that guy when he didn't bring back, I guess, the person he was supposed to get, and she's like, oh, she just didn't. I wouldn't be scared of her if she was coming down on me like that. Like, I just don't think maybe it's her and not necessarily the character. Maybe it's just the.
Well, in the first season, I was like, wow, this is going to be one of those
Yeah.
characters that's going to bring it down. Like,
Or she might just. Yeah, I wasn't convinced.
Yeah.
with
Regardless
her.
of her personality, I'm still excited about her role.
Yeah.
Like right now, she has this role of I'm about to get you, and I'm the greatest and the best, and I can't wait until she's like faced with Harriet, like face to face.
Oh, yeah, that's
and you know
the
she
showdown.
just gets handed to her. Like it's that showdown.
I
like,
can't wait to that showdown.
Right, that showdown that you're waiting for, because she's basically going to be chasing her own tail, only because
Yeah.
we already know the end. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, like screw her personality. We need her. I mean, okay.
I love how they opened that one scene with her having sex, and it was like she's kind of
like-
a masculine.
Yeah, she's like, okay, lift my leg. All right, do this. All right, go here, go higher. Okay,
It
now
just
we're done.
wasn't fun.
It's like over. and then she's like back to work. Like, I love that.
It wasn't fun. And then it was
No.
like shoo.
It wasn't fun at all. It was just like she really did it like a man. Like, all right, I'm about to get mine, and you can go.
And once
You
I'm
know.
done, you can leave now.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
And
you.
while she was talking about the book, we did see some insecurities. Like,
Yeah, that's what-
Even
right.
in her movement, with the way that she looked, like she was looking down, she became very much. She got softer. So something in her childhood is going to open up. I feel like throughout this season, where we'll get to know her a little bit better.
I want to move on to Rosalie because
Child.
there's a lot that opens up about Rosalie in this episode,
She around here
especially
keeping
toward the
secrets.
end. So we see how emotional she is, and right now she's trying to help some people escape. And we see throughout this whole journey, she was in an argument with 3 other slaves while she was trying to help them escape, and they were like, "You don't know where you're going." And she's like, "Yes, I do," and she's screaming like, "You call me Rosalie," and I was like, "Oh, she's so cute." But we saw how emotional she was, like this roller coaster she's on. And I think a lot of that comes from her trying to find her mom and her brother, which they don't really go into a lot, but she is still trying to find them. And then Noah, she's also trying to find Noah, and then John just gets killed. So that's a lot for her to go on with also what happens in the end, which we don't want to give away right now. But everybody who watched the episode, y'all know what happens in the end, and Should I just say it?
She's pregnant.
Oh my gosh, she's pregnant.
Did y'all
Joking,
see
joking.
it? Like, you know how usually they can hide that? Like, they hid that very well.
She was hiding it
Very well.
I mean, she was wearing
But
big clothes.
yeah, I was gonna say she was wearing big clothes.
I was
and
gonna
stuff.
say, I mean, as surprised as we try to act, yeah, like when she was layering, I was like, she's in my mind. I was like, she's layering a lot this season.
I
was
didn't notice
is she,
it.
Why is she putting on so many clothes?
You know, the crazy thing about it is I follow Journey Smollett, and she's gorgeous. Her and her husband.
Yeah, she
They're
lost that
goals.
baby weight fast.
Her and her husband are goals. But when I saw that she was pregnant in real life, I wondered if they were gonna play into it in season 2, because we know, you know, she lost the V card, and that was that whole thing went down last season. And so I was just like, oh my gosh, she gets pregnant on the first try. That would be crazy. But,
happens.
and it happened. They did it. All right,
It's
y'all.
always funny, like when you watch Scandal and you see when they tried to hide Carrie's. It was so
Yeah.
obvious. It was
Yeah,
like,
they should have played
this
into
was
it.
not obvious at all. I did not see that.
At that last scene, we were all like,
But there are a lot of dark scenes too.
Yeah.
When we see her whole body, it's usually her in action, her moving or her going through the forest or it becoming dark. So it was easier to play with lighting as well when it comes to hiding her belly.
Yeah, that's probably it. That's probably
Yeah,
it.
good point.
I want to move on to Noah because we didn't see him at all in the first half of the
Yeah.
show, and then we see him on a boat heading somewhere, and then we see where he lands, and it ends up being, well, let's talk about what happened with Noah. So Noah is smart. This is what we know about Noah. He is a leader. He gets it done. He gets stuff done. Noah finds a way to escape while he is chained and bound.
With that key he made while he was in jail.
Listen. I tried to talk about it last time, and the people in the chat were going off on me about, no, it was Rosalie's ring he was wearing. But okay, guys, pay attention.
They were watching.
He was wearing the ring, and he had the piece of metal that was gonna help him get free. That's what I tried to say in the first episode.
You said it.
I said it, but they were coming at me in
Calm
the chat.
down.
So I need to go ahead and clarify. I was right. Thank you.
Okay, you were right.
She needs a
You
pat
get
on the
no
back,
cookies
guys.
for that.
Listen here.
Anyway, so I think but he also needs to throw them. He knew that they were watching him too,
Yeah.
so he had to. Noah's he's one of those characters that he gives off the perception that he's not bright, that he's trying to just go under the radar, but he's really smart. He's always thinking things through, and I think we saw that in that whole scene where he sees his way out, and he's trying to get back to Rosalie. Like,
He trying to get down on one knee. Okay?
Well,
You don't know that.
but no, we see that, and I think they underestimated him.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
a lot of that happens in this when they underestimate the slaves or think we don't know stuff. You see, some, like in the beginning, one of the slaves was learning how to read.
Yeah.
But they had to hide it. I think a lot of that underestimation is happening right under their noses, and then when it comes out, like, he ended up trying to escape.
I think that's to our own fault though. Like I don't even think it's them not even realizing that we know more than we do.
Right.
I think it's us having to act like we don't know.
know.
Because if they find out we know, we're not going to have a chance to fulfill whatever kind of plan we just muscled up in our mind. So we have to play dumb. We have to act like we don't know how to read, like we don't know how to speak complete sentences and etc. so that we can have more freedom and they could be like, oh, that's that dumb.
Whatever.
But
and try and don't pay attention to you, so that way you can slide
Can
under the
do
radar.
some-
Right.
Yeah, and do some things.
I think that's what's interesting about the fact that they opened up episode 1 and 2 with the notion of this man reading, like, because it was like, even because we didn't talk about it last time, of him, like, he's going around and he's making all this money, and then he comes back and he has to give the money away. And so then now we open up this episode where he's finally giving something to his wife, which is the gift of writing out love for her, and she rips it up. Like, that
She
broke my
appreciated
heart.
it.
She
Yeah.
did. But it's just the fear was so great that it was like,
the fact that she had to do
I
that.
love that they show stuff like this because we come from such a resilient peoples.
Right.
And I don't think that a lot of that, sometimes when you see these slave movies or shows, they don't show the resilience of our people. Like,
Right.
we came through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And still end up, creating stuff. Like that guy, he had a skill. He had a
Yeah.
skill.
He was a
And they were
sculptor.
paying him for his skill.
Yeah.
Even though he had to turn the money over, but we had skills, we had trades, we could
Musicians,
like there were
everything.
musicians and
Right.
everything. And I love that they're showing he in the first episode when he was learning to read, he picked that up quickly, didn't he? He was like, there we go.
He was like, moving on. Next word.
Get him.
I was laughing so hard. I was like, okay, yeah, you're fast.
No, I literally was like, oh, that's great. Because it takes me some time now. Like, if I run into a bear, I'm just okay.
Right? And like, and how did you decide that was right? Okay.
So y'all gonna act, wait, are y'all really gonna act like y'all don't have that problem sometimes?
No.
Wait,
You don't have to like slow down and
no.
enunciate it when you run into something that you haven't seen before.
If
No,
it's
I'm
a
with you.
really big word, yes.
Maybe a word I'm not
It's a
familiar
big word
with,
for sure.
But if I'm not
If it's
familiar,
one that's not in your vocabulary either, you guys, okay, clearly I'm on a panel with people.
You know what it is?
Right.
You know what it is? She's getting ready for law school, so she's running into
There we
a
go.
lot of
Thank you, Franceli.
jargon.
Okay.
I stopped. I'm not.
So we know who reads and who doesn't
more.
read.
I read a lot, but I'm reading, stuff on the
Right,
industry.
right.
Yeah,
Which is, when you're reading stuff about the industry, it's not the law jargon.
Don't listen.
So yeah.
Anyway, I want to get back. So Noah, we also see him antagonizing his captors.
Yeah.
I thought that was very interesting.
I love that part.
I love that part because Noah got balls.
No, I don't care. He
does-
never cared.
He never cared. You could never, and I think that's interesting when you show someone who was a slave. He's still a slave, and he still has that like, I have an ego, I have pride. You're not gonna talk to me any kind of way. I'm smarter than you. Even when the guy tried
Right.
to talk down at him, he was
Yeah.
like, "You're not finna talk to him. You think you smarter?" That's something.
I love that.
But you know
and
what kills me? It kills me that we always have this pride over Noah, right? We're just like, Noah did that. And then the show finds a way to make us be like, dang, really?
Right.
yeah.
And
Right.
like every time when Noah got away last week, we were like, yes.
Noah always almost get away.
And as soon as he
Okay.
got away, he got captured again.
Yeah.
Same thing this episode.
Yeah.
I had
Why you
enough.
gotta do that?
I had enough.
That was true because I was definitely yes. He got out those chains and they
I
had
knew
this
he
whole little
wasn't- come
plan
on.
together. When he was, I was like, okay, great, where's this gonna go? But awesome. And then
They
at the
have
end,
horses
it's like,
and stuff. Like
I knew. I just knew that was the master. I thought that was the master.
Yeah.
Everyone was so confident, like pointing their guns at Noah. Like he was calm. Like, okay, just give him the ring. I'm like, oh,
Okay, well now since you're bringing that up, I guess we can talk about, Kato. We're gonna talk about
Kato
Kato.
is back.
Kato is back.
Dum, dum.
And we've seen different sides of Kato. We've seen like there are sides where we want to be his friend, we want to root for him, and then we've seen sides of Kato where we're like we don't really like him. And now that he is back, what happened when they left off? They had left Kato, and I think he had revenge still on his mind.
Well, he had all that money.
Yeah,
Remember, they might have played him, but
Yeah.
that one thing he had was a lot of money. And that's the thing, the hard truth about our history. There were black people who had a lot of money that owned slaves. It was a social economic issue. It was bigger than, yes, racism was huge, but the Civil War was fought because of economics. The South had so much money, and the North felt like it's not fair. You guys get all this control and this power and this money. That's what it really came down to. Not because they actually cared that
Right.
much about the black people. They cared about their pockets, and it was like, you guys make all this money because you have free labor. So that's what it was really about. And there were black folks that were well off that owned people. So Kato, now he's a slave owner.
Well, what do y'all think he wants? Like, what
What is he gonna do
What is he
with
gonna do
Noah?
with Noah?
I had like this weird smirk on my face when we brought up Kato, and I tried to keep it, but it started to hurt because I literally have nothing nice to say. Like, Kato does open a door of things we didn't know and of
Right.
the history of blacks having slaves as well, but he's so hard. And he's so spiteful. And although we did see a side of him last season that was softer and that makes us realize that he goes through things
He's
too.
been through about his scar, like when
and,
he
and
talked
I
about
and
his
I
scar.
get that, but you are fighting the wrong people. Like, he takes his anger out. He's still trying to
angry.
please the white man from the beginning, and even now. So for him to be in a slave master's position, and who knows what he's gonna do with Noah? I just feel like because they left him, like he's just very like. it's deep.
gonna be
It's
very
deep.
vindictive.
It's deep inside of him, and I just want him. I want him to get proper healing. Like I wish somebody. I mean, I know there's no therapy or nothing because
Jesus.
somebody because literally if it was I don't know, an older woman. You know how sometimes you always have like the grandmas on the plantation. Well, we don't know, but the grandmas of the house, right? You have a aunt or somebody who kind of consoles you, or even what Georgia was to Elizabeth, talking to her her down off that ledge. Kato needs that, and Kato doesn't have that, which is why he's so spiteful. So I don't have anything nice to say about him right now. And then he off messing around with that girl.
Messing with who?
Y'all ain't see the girl that he was messing around with in the preview?
What are you?
I was like,
talking about some girl.
He got a girlfriend or a wife or something. Y'all seen the girl?
No.
She's pretty. She looks like Jasmine, the princess. Come on.
Oh, that's my friend Rana. Okay, wait. We got to see that episode though, so we'll have to talk about that's in the next episode.
So y'all don't watch the previews?
Well, we didn't see it because it turned off, but we'll talk about that in the next episode.
She's like, don't come for me. She said, do not.
So you hate Kato because
Oh, that's your friend?
he got a new life. Yeah. She I went to acting school with her.
That's
she's
amazing.
really cool. Yeah. But anyway. Ernestine, I want to talk about Ernestine. Ernestine is one of my favorite characters.
Ooh,
Because she's
man.
a strong woman, and we've seen her go through a lot in the show. And right now, is she going through some pain? I thought maybe she was just hooked on drugs right now, but I think she's actually got some chronic pain that's going on while she's on the drugs. I don't know. They didn't really explore it yet, but
She's
I mean,
limping.
she hasn't worked in the field in God knows how long.
That's true.
She's been in the
I didn't think
house,
about that, yeah.
and there is a lot of pain from being, she's on she
she's
got her
little.
back. She's a small woman,
little woman.
and then she's getting beat when she comes home. So
Yeah.
she's in a lot of pain all around, physically and
surprised
I'm
mentally.
surprised
I
she's
am
letting, not
surprised.
Ernestine, I'm really surprised that she's letting this weak man, which upsets me. I kind of don't like them showing this black on black violence in here because there's a lot going on in the show, and then you add this in, and it's kind of, it really does, it's gut wrenching.
It's
I
real,
see
though.
stuff like, it's real.
It's so
It's
real.
real, and it's gut wrenching to see that on top of everything they got going on.
Right.
You got this a man beating this woman.
Yeah.
Out of what?
That was
just
life.
anger, and that is
As hard as it is to watch, again, kudos to Misha, Underground, and everyone for, again, showing things that have not been shown. There have been so many slave shows and slave movies, but they've, I don't know, been too afraid to show this
to
side.
show the
You
stuff
know,
that actually,
and,
some of the real stuff
and
that
this
happens
stuff
too.
really goes on because as a black man, he already feels diminished and demasculated, and so it's like this is his only ounce of power.
And we see so much of it today.
Yes.
It kind of.
Oh my gosh.
So it kind of gives us that connection. It's like, okay, why is he in this position? As much as we like, I don't like him and I don't like the scenes either. However, he's in this position because he's so beat down, because he's so looked down upon. You know what I mean? So now he's trying to take power or have power or feel confident any way that he knows how, which is through beating on Ernestine. And then that kind of just passes on and passes on through generation. And here we are today, 2017, and it's, happening behind all kind of closed doors.
Okay.
Yeah,
And we have a what is this, inspiration queen who says that Ernestine is on some type of opium, which is like a painkiller.
So
And
she
it's
is
called
for her pain.
it's called Landadum. Which
We having that moment.
yes,
the
yes.
inside.
See, I'm having that moment.
I pointed to it like
it was a popular painkiller in the 19th century.
Okay.
So shout outs to people who know the facts.
I just let the record show that they just started on that word.
I just had the moment.
Guys, hey, it's about getting past it, okay? It's
Yeah.
not about where you started, it's about where you
skip it.
end.
Reading
like,
Rainbow is going down right
It's
now.
opium. I just decided to skip it.
No, but that scene where he takes the that new character we see, Clara,
Clara, yes.
where he forces her to
my
have an
God.
abortion.
That was hurtful.
That was
My God.
hurtful.
My God,
the
my
way
God,
he
my God.
handled her.
My God.
And forced that what poison was that? Ask whoever that was.
Yeah,
Poison.
It was liquid abortion.
Liquid abortion, but I think it definitely was a liquid abortion. what concoction was in that, I don't know.
Right.
But I will say that what's powerful about just in general, a lot of people have been on Twitter asking like, well, what plantation is she on? That's still yet to be revealed, but we know we're in the swamps, which is where a lot of the Gullah people were, people from the Caribbean. Another thing that I love that they're showing that Caribbean people were slaves too.
It was refreshing to even the people who captured Noah to even hear them speak in another language.
language, yeah.
Like, and I remember watching it and I was thinking, okay, this is good because people seem to think that racism only happens in America. Like they forget that if we go to a different country, I'm still going to be judged because of the color of my skin. It doesn't matter. Like that's everywhere that I go, you know? So definitely. And when I heard those accents, I was like, yes, now I feel like, you know, now I'm coming into it a little bit more.
There's so much that they're giving us. And even the history of the bottled trees that were there, that the Africans brought for us to help keep us strong as a people. Like, they're just dropping so much knowledge.
Yes.
I'm just like, oh, I'm getting smarter now.
I love that. You mentioned the Gullah people?
Yes, the Gullah people.
Where
That's
are they from?
Clara's character, because
I was gonna say,
Lena and I were like, ooh, can I catch what she's saying?
She started saying Guan, so I was like, okay, well, maybe she's Jamaican. I was like, okay, but no, she's not.
Speaking Geechee, which is the language that the Gullah people speak.
So yeah, because they were, when I was looking up some of the new cast members, they are Gullah people.
Yes.
So they did mention.
I was wondering about the costume because I was like, these are such beautiful costumes. Because in the first season they were really like brown, the brown colors and stuff, and these colors are more rich in textures.
Girl, you know we got the flavor,
right?
Got the sauce.
Cute.
You know what was also about Clara? You brought her up, and you brought up the fact that he forced her to have an abortion. What is Robert Riley's character name? I still don't even know his name.
His name is Hicks.
Hicks. Okay.
We got folks in the chat.
Come on, chat room. Thank you. So we kind of see him force her to have that abortion, and I think that it was very powerful for the producers to show that, because we tend to walk around thinking that everything that's happening today is from us. Like, it just came out of nowhere. Like, oh my gosh, people didn't get abortions before, or people weren't forced to get abortions before, or this, like, everybody loved their baby at one point. And you know what I mean? So to be able to witness that, even the fact that she wanted to keep it and he like forced her hand, it's like, we've been going through this for years. So if we can get through it then, we can get through it now. And it was almost like a hope for anyone in those situations. Like, you are strong enough to make it through. So that was definitely refreshing for me.
I've really seen Ernestine like this, though, like this weak too. And like,
I feel like she's lost her spirit.
This woman
I don't want to say weak because we know she's still strong.
No, she's strong, but right now she's
like,
just very beaten down. And like,
I was like, I feel like she's lost her spirit. She's lost her hope. Possibly,
I mean, she's seeing things, and she's seeing her late husband. Oh my God! And that moment where he's just going in about the children, and shout outs to Inspiration on the chat, who's just giving me so much knowledge that the berries that Ernestine is picking is actually raspberries that provide folic acid, which help the baby, vitamin B. So it's like she was actually trying to help her. Although she created the poison for Hicks, because that's what he wanted, but because she wanted to keep it, she was picking the berries.
You know what I was thinking? When he asked her where it was and she pointed to it, I was like, she pointed to it because she's already made something to fix it. Like, I already felt like the encounter. I felt like the encounter with her husband, the encounter with her late husband planted seeds in her that made her want to transfer it around. Because even when he walked in and was like, where is it? You saw her hesitation. You saw that she wanted to fight back.
Right,
so when she pointed, it was like, I'm saving you.
I love how they use visions as guides in this show. The people who are the guides, like even when she killed the master sister, I can't even remember.
Oh, her.
Yeah, her sister. Like
the master sister,
not the master. The
little girl's mother.
Yes,
the little girl's mother.
Yeah.
I know her name.
What's her name?
I literally like.
She said, "I know her name."
I thought that me saying I know her name was gonna make it come, but it didn't.
What?
I know her name, but I do. We talked about her.
They
she was
use
there
it as a guide and stuff to help guide the characters and bring them back. Like, her seeing her late husband. Well, I don't think that was her late husband. I think it was like her late.
No, it is her late husband.
Okay, late husband.
Her children's father.
Yeah, I think it was the children's father. I don't know if they said she was married.
I believe it.
Well, I
mean, they couldn't really.
Yeah, they can't really go into,
so
but based on the conversation, he goes when Sam was born.
Yeah.
So that was their child together.
That was their child, but I don't think they were married. I think that was Sam's father, because the other boy is not the same.
Well, we know
yeah.
that Rosalie and the boys to Tom.
So they're used as guides to bring them back, and I think her conversation with him literally brought her back to her. Like it gave her more strength.
It also gave us background because even last episode and this episode, we're like, okay, we're not used to seeing Ernestine so weak. We don't like seeing her like this. However, I don't think that any of us realized that she's been weak before this season. And we didn't know it because we only knew her as one-dimensional. We only knew her one way. So he kind of brought out like depth in her character. Now we know that the reason she was sleeping with Tom and the reason she was acting the way she was acting is because of, what did you get?
Pearly May.
Pearly May.
Thank you, Carmen Williams. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you.
She was in the middle saying something really profound.
I'm sorry.
She was agreeing. I know.
I'm sorry.
Wait, no, I was like, what did you find? What was it?
It was eating me alive.
I was like, I knew it was May something, but I was like, I don't know the rest of it. But you were in the middle saying something really profound. Please continue.
I don't. I lost.
Why she was acting the way.
Right.
Because we did wonder, why was she sleeping with the master? Why was she doing this?
We actually never questioned it. Like, we knew it was like, okay, because, you know,
that was the norm.
she was in the house. She was a house slave. She was a mulatto. Like, you know, so we kind of figured that came with her character. But we didn't realize that she had already gone cold.
Right.
We didn't
realize the power.
Right.
Wow.
We didn't know that, though. We didn't even question it until we see her in this position.
I kind of, towards the end of season 1, felt like she was doing it for the power.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you would go to great lengths to kill your sister, to protect your everything to do to protect her children, and then the fact, like, she felt like she was the queen bee even when she was having sex with him. Like, the way she just moved around that house,
She was boss.
like she was the boss.
The way she walked in the first season to this season, I love the way characters, when actors walk into their characters, and the way it was like a sway. Like, even it was how the wife of the house walked. I don't know if you noticed that they both walked the same way with this sway.
She felt equal.
I do have a question though, ladies, because we talked about, we didn't understand about abortion, and nowadays women can go get a procedure and get their tubes tied. But in her conversation with her dude, she's talking about making herself barren. How in the freak did they do that back then?
Something with the you know,
her,
she
knows a lot about
remedies
herbs
and everything.
She knows, and I think they don't go into
So there's a natural way to stop yourself from having children?
They don't go into that. Maybe we
Listen,
should.
we were so limited on resources.
That's crazy.
We were so limited on resources that we found a way to make
do.
everything happen. Even eat. Something as simple as eating and having food. They stopped us from having certain amount of food, so you know what we did? We went off and started eating other things.
Right.
And that's full, like, that's delicacies that people love and enjoy till this day.
That's how inventions come about. When you don't have a way, you make a way.
Yeah.
Right.
And we invented a lot of things that some of the stuff that people don't even know that.
Yeah.
It was African Americans. It was blacks that invented it. You know. So.
I love what we're gonna get from Ernestine's character because, like, as much as I hated it last episode to see her in this position, I'm loving it now because the dimensions of her character are just, it's transforming, and it's going to be beautiful when she finally gets herself back.
Yeah.
Well, we've learned a lot more, but let's get to what happened at the end with Rosalie, the big surprise. Rosalie ends up getting shot.
Yeah.
And we find out she's pregnant. Rosalie is so strong. She gets shot and manages to swim to shore pregnant.
And then touch her stomach, like,
she
ooh,
had to be like
right?
6, 7, like she was pretty 6-7 months out.
Yeah, she looked,
That when I say the strong characters know where Rosalie, all the characters are so strong, and that's what I really love about the show, like the strength.
and like you mentioned, like inventing things and making something out of nothing and making a way out of no way. When she was with Harriet and they were she was wrapping herself and then stuffing something, and she was like, this will protect you from the buckshot. So I'm assuming it was almost like making a bulletproof vest, like trying to pad her just in
With
case.
the turkey feathers.
Yeah,
I definitely
with the
thought that
feathers,
she was
right.
protected.
Like,
And she said she had the vision of her on the bridge.
Yeah.
I wonder if the vision included the shot.
I don't
You know
think
what?
so.
It didn't,
Well,
because at the end of the vision, she just said you were going to be there and you would know, like a calmness would come over you, and then she got shot. So I don't know if the vision included, or maybe if Harriet knew that or not.
It seems like she
And just
could have
didn't tell
prepared
her?
her for it.
Hate
so
me
maybe
for
we'll find out
this.
next week.
Hate me for this, but when Rosalie got shot, like after the whole bridge moment, when Rosalie got shot, I was like, oh, so Harriet, you couldn't see that part? Like, I got upset. Like, I low-key got upset.
Low key, she might have known. That's why she said change the plans.
Right.
I don't know. We're gonna see in the next
We'll
episode.
see. We will see. Okay.
The vision might have just boom, stopped right there.
She did wake up quickly, but we will see. But I want to get y'all's predictions.
Yeah.
Ooh. Let's start over here. Oh, yeah.
So,
I was like, where my music?
Right? I love that prediction music. I think I have a feeling because she prepared her with the turkey feathers and things like that. She kind of had a vision of it. She didn't maybe want to tell her that part because if it could have scared her away from doing what she needed to do. So I think it'll be revealed that that Harriet knew about that.
Okay.
You think so?
I kind of think so. Or she, she had some type of feeling or inkling about that. What is Kato gonna do with Noah?
That's what I'm interested.
I feel like it's something in me, like towards the end of this season, that he's gonna come back around again. But I think in the beginning, he's gonna give her his revenge. He's gonna do something to Noah next episode.
Okay.
Torture him some kind of way.
Yeah, it's definitely going down at the Cato plantation. He's gonna show him who's boss. That's definitely gonna happen. Because Noah has so much grit and machismo, so Cato's gonna try to like chop that down. And I really believe that something's gonna go down at John's funeral. Elizabeth is gonna go monkey. Somebody gonna show up. Somebody gonna say something slick, and Elizabeth gonna clap back.
I need you to calm down, okay?
It's gonna go down. Look. That's all I got.
Need you to calm down.
To keep it short, I feel like we're gonna get a vision from Ernestine's late son next episode. Like you kind of see the progression through the visions.
Right.
So I think that's who's next to visit her, who's gonna actually steer her into the direction she needs to go in.
Yeah.
I feel like Kato is going to come back around early on, and he's going to help. He's got the resources.
I feel that too.
For some reason, I just feel like Kato's that redeeming character that always, like, it seems like he's the bad guy, but he really is kind of like the good guy.
Or he's or he may just be tit for tat. Like, I need to get you back. I got you back. Now I can.
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we want to know what you think. Go ahead and hashtag us at ABTV Underground or at WGN Underground. We are also going to have the costume designer Karen Wagner on here.
Yeah.
Next show, we want to ask her about those costumes.
I
especially.
won't be here next week. It's okay. They don't care. They don't care.
But tell us what you think, guys. We want to hear from you. Until next time.
Where can they find you?
Oh, yeah. You can find me at just Lina Green on all social media networks.
You can follow me on all social platforms at hey_it's_lay.
All things at Selly Hangout.
Instagram and Twitter, Lynneisha_33.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. Thanks.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.